Shedeur Sanders fans in disbelief with latest Browns depth chart. Shedeur Sanders started his first NFL game on Friday night with a bang. While Sanders fans were elated at his performance, it came as no shock to Buffs fans. Ever since the historic draft slide, fans have been clamoring for depth chart movement and an increase in first-team reps. As has been said before, being named QB1 or getting more first-team reps is not a validation award for the draft slide. Fans and media alike still have issues with the draft slide. After being projected as a top 10 pick for most of the pre-draft process, Shedeur slid. By the time he was still available at the top of the third round, most new football alone could not explain it. The issue with the discussion is that it can't be had without the suggestion of foul play on some level. When people believe foul play is involved, it's human nature to want to see the pendulum swing the other way. As fast as he slid, that's how fast fans expect him to become QB1. With fans suggesting essentially that the apology should be as loud as the disrespect. The concern is that NFL football doesn't work that way. The bulk of those who continue to claim Shedeur is being disrespected, unwanted, used or even lately, sabotaged all point to the same thing. People are trying to use non-football logic for a football situation. NFL training camp and player development is not like being named prom king. It takes much more than popularity and an overall eye test. No NFL team in the history of the league has made a starting QB decision based on fan popularity. Similarly, no NFL team looks at a player and thinks, "I've seen all I need to see," and make him the starter without the football process. As fan reactions started pouring in during, and after Shedeur's start versus Carolina, it became increasingly likely that the fans rooting for him were going to expect a significant jump in QB ranking, hopefully leading to Shedeur being named first or second string. As if that would undo the draft slide. The two are not related. The draft is a complicated process where prospects are nitpicked relentlessly to determine the best order of players to acquire as it pertains to each team's situation. Once the draft has concluded, no one cares about the draft position except that player, his family, and his accountant. Especially post-2013, when rookie salaries became slotted. On Monday, Adam Schefter and basically every reporter connected to the situation confirmed Shedeur remains QB4 on the depth chart. This news was met with immediate pushback, as fans believed the game against the Carolina Panthers was confirmation of what had not yet been seen. As if Shedeur's status as QB4 was simply the coaching staff not understanding his greatness. There is a process that all football teams go through. Not every team's process is the same, but the suggestion that a franchise should simply elevate a player because his fans said so, is illogical at best. Shedeur's journey from fifth-round pick to hopefully becoming the starter at some point in 2025 was never going to be quick. Fans seem to expect that Shedeur starting at the bottom would lead to incremental moves up the depth chart throughout the process. That was never the likely scenario. What was always more likely is we would see almost no movement until the 11th hour. Very little movement most of the way, and around the time of the 53-man roster cut down, that's when we might learn if Shedeur has moved up the depth chart. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski would not even produce a depth chart before Week 1 if the league didn't require him to do so. Fans have been viewing Shedeur within the QB competition like waiting for a package to arrive. Every day hitting the refresh button and asking why hasn't he arrived yet. The truth of the matter is Sanders was very good at what he was asked to do at Colorado. What he was asked to do at Colorado is not the same as what he would be asked to do in Cleveland, or really any team that would have drafted him. Popularity has virtually zero impact on a QB competition. As to the preparing him to fail narrative, that is one thing Shedeur put to bed on Friday. Preparing him to fail was a fan-driven narrative and an illogical leap no one should have taken, especially sports media professionals. If they were setting him up to fail, he would have. Plain and simple. The fact that Shedeur was so smooth and clean navigating the offense, controlling the huddle, his processing speed and ball delivery was even faster than at Colorado, very few pre-snap penalties, all suggest that setting him up to fail was always complete nonsense. It's easy to see no first-team reps while throwing to support staff, and choosing to see that as an intentional slight. Throwing the ball was always going to be the easy part for Shedeur. The air in Cleveland had been buzzing for weeks, a mix of preseason adrenaline and the smell of something new. Shedeur Sanders had arrived in the NFL with the kind of hype that could make a seasoned veteran's knees tremble. From his first snap in training camp, fans were hooked, His poise, precision, and confidence felt like a spark in a city desperate for something to believe in. That's why the release of the latest Browns depth chart hit like a sudden, icy downpour on what had been a sunny parade. There it was, printed in plain, bold font. QB1, veteran starter. QB2, trusted backup. QB3, Shedeur Sanders. For fans who'd been chanting his name at camp, wearing fresh number 3 jerseys, and replaying clips of his preseason mastery over the Panthers, it was almost insulting. Social media lit up like the 4th of July. Hashtags like #FreeShedeur and #Start3 began trending within minutes. The disbelief wasn't quiet. It was loud, emotional, and relentless. A fanbase that saw more. Many Browns fans believed they had already witnessed a changing of the guard. Sanders' chemistry with the young receivers, his ability to read blitzes, and the calm way he scanned the field felt rare for a rookie. "He's the future, and the future is ready now," said Malik Henderson, a season ticket holder who'd been to every open practice. Putting him at third is like hiding your best weapon in the drawer. It wasn't just armchair quarterbacks making the case. Former players chimed in. Analysts pointed out that Shedeur's completion percentage in camp scrimmages was higher than either of the two ahead of him, and opposing scouts reportedly admitted he was NFL ready. Yet the coaching staff held firm. Head coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters, "Depth charts in August don't always look like depth charts in December. This is about process, development, and long-term success."